Well, we have a functioning unit converting app. It converts Celsius to Fahrenheit and things work great, but there are still a few issues with it. And one that's not particularly obvious is that it seems our view controller is doing a lot of temperature conversion type work. Well, really, all the view controller should do would be to tell the view what to display, not converting. So in order to follow the MVC or model view controller paradigm, we actually need a model that's going to deal with the temperature conversion piece. So we're going to actually create a new file, be a Swift file. I'm going to call it unit converter because it's actually going to do the work of converting. Let's go ahead and create that. There's my new unit converter class. And I'm going to create the class unit converter. And all it's going to do is it's going to take care of the conversion piece for us. So we're going to make a function degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to take a parameter degrees Celsius. It's going to be an integer, and it's going to return an integer when it's done. Okay, so it's our method name, takes one parameter, returns an integer. And so it's going to return int 1.8 times float degrees Celsius plus 32. So it does a very similar thing to what we did in our view controller class. It takes the degrees Celsius, converts it to a float so that I can do some multiplication on it. And then it adds 32, converts it back to an int, and then returns that value. So now, even though it's only a couple lines, our unit converter class is going to take over the job of the actual conversion. Our view controller shouldn't be doing that. So let's go back to our view controller and let's create up top here a converter property. So private let converter equal unit converter. So this is just going to be a instance of the unit converter class private to this class. Okay, well, let's go ahead and update our did select row and component method. So we need to change this method to use our new unit converter class. I'm going to go ahead and change so I only see my view controller. And so let's go ahead and we'll leave this line the same. But now we don't have to do this calculation anymore. So I can take that out. And all my text has to be is converter dot degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to take the degrees Celsius as a parameter. So I think I have one too many parentheses in there. Oh yeah, so it says can't convert type value of float. Well, remember, we converted to float in our method, so I don't need to do a float here. So I'll take that out, and that should take care of that error, and it does. So now, again, instead of the view controller doing the calculations, the unit converter class, the model, does the calculations. Let's go ahead and run this to make sure it has the same functionality, which it should. Let's move it, and it does work as we intended it to. So now we've extracted that functionality from our view controller and put it into our model, which is better. Our view controller is still the data source, and should the view controller be the data source, or should the model handle that? And we'll look at that in the next video.